Hey guys, welcome to my 10th, I believe, Inkscape tutorial. Um, what I'm going to do now is just kind of like show you a simple way to like put some design and images together, just to kind of give you an idea of the kind of stuff that you can do with Inkscape. It'll probably look a lot like something I've showed you that I've done already, and that's because it is. Because I'm not, I don't know, and I've said this before, I'm not the best graphic artist, and to sit here and try to show you something amazing, I'm going to waste your time and mine. So really, I'm just going to show you a little simple thing that you can do, which is cool. And it's kind of, I guess you could say it's like a t-shirt design or maybe a flyer design. Like let's say you're doing a band or something, and they have a logo. You can put the logo, and I'm using a circle. You can put the logo in the circle, and then I'll add a stroke of like 20, right? And that makes it a good thick stroke, and that's what you want. Now, and this a lot of this will make sense here in a minute, but I'll you can add like a radial gradient. Move this more to the center. There you go, and make it, I don't know, darker on the outside or lighter. Okay, darker works. Darker's good. So I'll go ahead and stretch that out a little bit. There you go, and that gives a thing. Okay, now I'm going to use a star or that weird thing to represent the logo that we're talking about. So there you go. Let's say that's our logo. So we just put that in the center, and yeah, okay. I know you guys probably think I'm weird just from trying to show you guys stuff like this, but let's say coming soon! Exclamation mark, which is probably nothing like what would be on a flyer for a band that was coming to town or something. But yeah, it's what I'm doing. And then you would choose your font, the font that you would like to use, and that's too small. It's gotta be proportionate to the circle, and I have it at 144, and that is really big. Another thing you can do as far as texting or text that I should have showed you in my text video is you can double click on it or however highlight the numbers and then enter your own. Now there's a big jump between like I believe 72 pixel text size and 144. So if 72 is too small and 144 is too big, you can do this in like I don't know. Let's put 80. No, let's do 90. There we go. It's a little too small though. Let's do like 110. See, we're getting a little closer here. Okay. There we go. Let's do the same thing. The yeahs, because I was playing Burnout once, and there's a song by the yeahs that was on there, and it was alright. Go chick bands, all that crap. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be anti-feminist or whatever, but yeah. So we're gonna do 110 pixels again, and we were missing one of our yeahs. So I don't know how they would do that. I guess there we go. It's great. Okay, so we have our text on there. And this is one of those things where I would use these grids that I showed you guys last video. If you didn't watch it, you might want to watch it because it can show you some stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would just line up my text like this. But first, actually, let's select all and let's go to our this menu. And we don't want everything to be aligned in the center, like right there, but we do want everything to be aligned centrally, like down this way. So we can do this, see, and it actually centered everything together. So we're not even going to use the grids. I use that for more complex stuff that doesn't require centering. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, okay. So now we have the beginning of our flyer, and I took the page. Whoa, what are we doing? Okay, and I'll show you this too. I guess I'm showing a little bit of every video of some different hotkeys, but you can hold Shift and then use your mouse wheel, and it'll take you back and forth. See that? Whereas if you hold Control, it'll zoom in and out, which is perfect. This is exactly what I was going for. I'm gonna go back to my document properties. If you remember, I took my border out doing this. So there we go. We just put the border back in. I'm gonna select all. I'm gonna use my arrow keys because I don't know. I probably could just do this. Okay, now we got that in the center. Let's add a triangle behind all of this. Okay, and then drop it to the back, obviously. Bang, but it's green, and we got this thing in the middle. I mean, granted, it kind of looks like a hole. It might be cool. I don't know. But we're gonna change the color. Let's change it to blue. That works. Okay. Now the thing is, our text isn't really popping. Now, if you're at a point like this, you know, you just want to kind of pay attention to things that kind of blend in with each other, things you don't want to blend in, things you do want to blend in, because they really do make a big difference as far as your finished product. If you just make sure to, like, for instance, you want people to want to read this text. Now, when they look at this blue and all these the black borders and everything, they kind of blend into each other. So, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of the text, and we're going to kind of style the text a little bit to make it pop out a little bit more against the background, so that you know, it's just so that it's easier to read. Okay, and if you're seeing that, it's because I just plugged my charger in. That's right, I was stalling for time, and I got told on by my computer. All right, so let's change this to a color that's it's easier to read. And yellow's good. And as I showed you guys in my filters tutorial, you can go to like ABC and use black outline for your text. And that didn't do much. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it again and see what that does. Because you can also use a stroke for your text, but it doesn't look nearly as smooth as using black outline. You can apply, every time you apply it, it adds another layer to the black outline. So we're starting to get a little closer. I might do it one more time. And again, you probably just want to use the stroke. And that's up to you. Okay, so it looks a little off, and I think the reason why is because this stuff isn't centered. So in fact, let's go and group all this because we're done with that. And if you saw that, it took away the black outline. But watch, I don't know why it does that. But if you move it, it comes right back. It didn't remove it. It just ignored it for a second. But when you move it, it comes back. So I've got all that grouped. And if I didn't group it, and I'm using the align and distribute options. If I hadn't grouped these, all of these would go to the center of the blue. So you'd have your coming soon right here. You'd have your yes right there. You'd have everything right there. But because I grouped it, this is now considered one object. This is now considered one object. So it's going to keep everything in place on this object, but it's going to center it on this one. Okay, so all we're going to do is use the center align tools. There we go. Okay, so now it's all centered. It's centrally aligned. Maybe we could, let's ungroup it again. And I'll do that a lot in a project. I'll group and ungroup just as much as I need to. Give it a little more space. And you'd probably have something like show times or something like that. Maybe over here, maybe company bands or something like that. And it's really, you know, so I don't have a lot of content for this flyer, if you will. But that's because there's not the IIAs aren't really coming and I'm not promoting their show. So yeah. But then, let's say this doesn't really look as great as we want it to. Maybe we want to add another gradient to the back this time, to the background. And again, if you hold Control, it'll make a straight gradient line. And then, I'm going to add a third, Oh, stop. Okay. I'll add it right there. See? And then I'll just drag it up. Oh, I see what's going on here. I apologize. When you're using your gradients and something like this happens, and let me zoom out a little more so you can see the whole thing. Okay, you see that? What I've done is basically I used a radial gradient when we were looking for a linear gradient, and that'll happen if you have, because it saves your presets, which is a good and a bad thing at times. But you can already tell it's already starting to look a little better, but I don't want to use white. I'm going to go with a dark blue on both ends, and then let's do a light blue in the middle. So, I mean, I guess I didn't do too much to it. Those are almost the same kinds of blue. Maybe we should find another blue real quick. Here we go. Let's use that. Okay, that gave it a little more of a thing. And you can use gradients on your text also, which I think I showed you in my first tutorial. It's in one of my tutorials where I put gradient on a text on some text to show you gradients. But yeah, so you see what I did. I mean, this is basic. This is simple. You could use this. This would probably look better as maybe like a T-shirt with like a slogan of some kind. Like I had one that said, "Go duck yourself," and there's a picture of a duck wearing sunglasses, and that was kind of lame and cheesy and probably pretty inappropriate. But it just gives you an idea of like, this is a good layout for that kind of thing. Whereas I don't know. But again, like I'm just showing you, like you can do that and lay it out, and then what you could do is just click on that, go to File, go to Export, and then there you go. You have a PNG file of your flyer or your design of or whatever. And I went over that again in another video. But yeah, and then you have your selection, page, drawing, custom. So yeah. I didn't go over that part because mainly I got hung up being wrong on something that I thought was right. And if you watch that, you know what I'm talking about, and I apologize for that. Okay, so I'm going to end this video right here. I'm sure I've gone on a little too long. But yeah, so just so you know, like you can do things like that. This is more of a flyer style. Now, I'll probably do, I think I will. I'm going to do a logo in the next one. More like in the one I showed you in an example that I've already done with a circle and the logo next to it. But again, I'm missing my fonts that I normally have, so I don't really play with the fonts, and this would look a lot better with a different font. Let's see if we can't find a good font real quick. I like that one. That one's good. I have them both selected, which is going to change them both, but it's only going to show one on here. But yeah, fonts are important. Now you want to find one that you like that flows with the image. You can use the same font for every project, but if it doesn't go with the design, then you're not doing it right. I guess I could say as far as the graphic design work. You might be working the program fine, but there's a whole other set of rules. I'm going to try to. I've got some books on graphic design, and again, as I've told you, I'm not a great graphic designer, but I would like to do some tutorials on graphic design. So I want to learn what I need to teach you guys before I actually go into it. But this is great. I mean, see how compact these are, and it's got some excitement to it, and these edges and sharp corners and stuff. Different thicknesses of the different parts of the letter. And that's just a good lettering. Good font. So I applied it, and let's see how it looks. Okay, and it did change it a little bit. So maybe we should go to bump this up to like 30. Okay, that's a little better, but we might just go to the 144. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened there. Let's see about 40. No. Okay, now I know what happened. See, it made it disappear because it wasn't long enough. But we'll use that. But you see what I'm what I'm going for here, and that's really what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to show you that you can do things like this in Inkscape, and you know, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here, and you guys just play around with it and see what you can come up with, and I will make another video concerning logos.